my name is Maren Shoemaker, and this is Use Case 5 on Dick's Sporting Goods. So there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, that are going to be talked about. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about all of them, but go into heavy detail on 5 that pertain to our use case in particular, which are 7, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So number 1 is no poverty, and it basically targets, the target is to eradicate extreme poverty, reduce poverty by 50%, and then equal rights to ownership, basic services, technology, and economic resources. 2 is zero hunger, so the target is universal access to safe and nutritious food, sustainable food production, and then end all forms of malnutrition. 3 is good health and well-being. So the target is to reduce mortality, fight disease, prevent substance abuse, and then increase health financing and universal health care. 4 is quality education. So basically targeting free primary and secondary education, equal access to quality education, eliminate discrimination in higher education, and then higher education scholarships in developing countries. So 5 is gender equality, and basically targets to end discrimination and violence against women and girls, equal rights to economic resources, and eliminate forced marriages. 6 is clean water and sanitation, mainly targeting safe and affordable drinking water, provide access to sanitation and hygiene, expand water and sanitation support in developing countries, and protect and restore water-related ecosystems. So 7 is one of the ones that pertain to our use case in particular. So this affordable and clean energy, it targets universal access to modern energy, increase in renewable energy, improvement in energy efficiency, and expand and upgrade energy services in developing countries. So the relationship with the other SDGs within it. Number 1, ending poverty. Number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities. And then number 12, responsible consumption and production. Number 8 is decent work and economic growth. So basically sustainable economic growth within areas. Number 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So this is basically developing sustainable, resilient, and inclusive infrastructures, and then promoting inclusive and sustainable industrialization within areas. Number 10 is reduced inequalities. So reducing income inequalities, promote universal social, economic, and political inclusion, ensure equal opportunities and indiscrimination. Number 11 is sustainable cities and communities. So basically targeting safe and affordable housing in areas, and then affordable and sustainable transport systems as well. So number 12 is also has to deal with our use case. So this basically targets, the main targets are implementing the 10-year sustainable consumption and production framework, sustainable management and use of natural resources, have half global per capita food waste, responsible management of chemicals and waste, and then substantially reduce waste generation. So then the relationship with the other SDGs is 3, which is good health and well-being, 6, which is clean water and sanitation, 13, which is climate action, 14 is life below water, and 15 is life on land. So 13 is also one that is within this use case that we chose to focus on, and it is climate action. So the targets are to strengthen resilience and adaptive capacity to climate-related disasters, integrate climate change measures into policies and planning, building knowledge and capacity to meet climate change, implement the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, and then promoting mechanisms to raise the capacity for planning and management. So then the relationship with the SDGs are 3, 6, 12, 14, and 15. And then number 14 is life below water. Also, we chose to focus on this one within our use case. So it targets to reduce marine pollution, protect and restore ecosystems, reduce ocean acidification, sustainable fishing, conserve coastal and marine areas, and then the relationships with the SDGs are 6, 11, and 12. And then the last one that we're really going to focus on in this use case is 15, which is life on land, targeting to conserve and restore terrestrial and freshwater ecosystems, end deforestation and restore the degraded forests, end desertification and restore degraded land, ensure conservation of mountain ecosystems, and then protect biodiversity and natural habitats. So the relationship with the SDGs for 15 in particular is 3, 6, 11, and 12. And then 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. So basically reducing violence everywhere, protect children from abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and violence. And then 17 is partnerships for the goals. The last one, so basically the target is to mobilize resources to improve domestic revenue collection and then implement all development assistance commitments. So on. So then the SDGs within our analytics storyline. So we're looking at our descriptive analysis questions. So when looking at these, identify climate-related risk and opportunities. The ones that we would use would be 7, 12, and 13. And then our second descriptive question, being how to reduce waste as the company grows, would be 12 and 13. So then for our predictive analysis, conducting climate scenario analysis to assess potential impact based on possible future climate scenarios. It is a lot like the first descriptive one we had, where 7, 12, and 13 are really what we're going to focus on when it comes to looking into that. And then the second predictive, exploration of alternative options for single-use plastic bags. That has to deal with 12, 13, 14, and 15 as a whole. And then for our two prescriptive questions, we are looking at incentives for customers for sustainable choices. So this is dealing with 12 and 13, and then improved climate management processes. And this deals with 7, 12, and 13. So then examples within a business setting. When looking at this, SDG 7, which is the affordable and clean energy, Kohl's, we found it within the Kohl's organization. So in 2018, they achieved the goal of 20% energy reduction 2 years early. So in 2021, 91% plus of the stores Energy Star certified, which uses about 35% less energy than the similar buildings that generate 1/3 less CO2. And then this can be seen, 7 is used in use case 1, 3, and 6. Then looking at SDG 12, so responsible consumption and production, we found that Nike and IKEA both had it, and you can see that these were seen in all 6 of the use cases. With Nike, move to zero, so they're moving towards zero carbon and zero waste by increasing recycled materials into their products. And then IKEA had customers can purchase a bag or use their own. So they're basically making the customer buy a bag instead of giving them a plastic bag, or they can bring in their own. And then for SDG 13, climate action, we looked into JetBlue. So air travel and shipping are among the biggest contributors to the CO2 emissions. So JetBlue is one of the first airlines to step towards the carbon neutrality to offset emissions with renewable jet fuel options. And this can also be seen in all 6 of the use cases talked about before this. SDG 14 is life below water, looking specifically at the Kroger grocery stores. So they are eliminating plastic bags. And then Seattle-based Quality Food Center first in the brand. And this was seen in use case 4. And then SDG 15, so life on land. Nestle, basically they reworked company sourcing strategy to ensure none of the commodity goods it uses are sourced through the deforestation of land. This was seen in use case 4. So then SDGs featured within our big data strategy document. You can see right here the 5 that I sort of highlighted when going through the 17 of them. So going right here, you can see use cases 1 through 3. For descriptive analysis, you can see that 7, 12, and 13 for 1 were used. For 2, how to reduce waste as a company grows, you can see that 12 and 13 were used. For 3, conducting climate scenario analysis to assess potential impact based on possible future climate scenarios, you can see again that 7, 12, and 13 were used. And then looking at use cases 4 through 6, you can see that for 4, the exploration of alternative options for single-use plastic bags, that 12, 13, 14, and 15 were used. For use case 5, incentives to customers for sustainable choices, 12 and 13 were used. And then for 6, improved climate management processes, again, 7, 12, and 13 were used.